crashes.
By the middle of May, the 2024 severe weather season had already become the second most active on record, behind only the infamous 2011 season, which saw more than 1,000 tornado reports in the same time frame. I've only crossed the Mississippi River twice in my nearly 40 years on this planet.
Welcome to Iowa.
Well, thank you. The most recent was on May 26th of this year, and the first time was on May 21st of this year, and the experience was more than I had bargained for. Getting ready to chase Iowa tomorrow, Tuesday, May 21st. We got a level 4 out of 5 risk already issued with the 10% hatch tornado risk. Yep, getting everything ready. Of course, we got a chaser favorite, Sony AX53. 3 extra batteries, make sure you got the charger, extra Type-C cable. Iowa's been one of my prime chase locations that I've wanted to go, and here's my opportunity, and I'm really excited.
I'm heading to Iowa. I'm heading to Iowa. I'm going to Iowa.
There's at least still some blocks.
I'm going to Iowa to go storm chasing. Oh.
Going over the Mississippi River right now.
I'm heading to Iowa.
Well, thank you.
I'm heading to Iowa.
After 445 miles and over 7 hours on the road, I finally arrived in Davenport, Iowa. So I met up with Jason Garrison at the Ramada Inn and decided just to crash in the parking lot to save money. I slept in a little later than I wanted to that morning, and on my way west, I came across this little mesocyclone along the warm front. It looks like there may have been a brief funnel on this cell, but it was quickly wiped out by the rear flank downdraft. But the little cell that could quickly fell apart, and then I continued my way west towards Des Moines to meet up with other chasers. Around 1:40 p.m. I arrived at the Home 2 Suites in Des Moines, where I met up with Jason Garrison, PA Storm Trackers, and Tornado Page. Check out the flags here. You can really see the low-level jet come to life after the warm front lifted north of Des Moines, a big reason why this day was so dangerous. It is 3:12 Central Time, and we're approaching a handful of tornado-warned storms. Multiple tornadoes will be on the ground simultaneously to our west, including an EF3 and an EF4. The EF4 that would eventually destroy parts of Greenfield, Iowa.
3 large tornadoes on the ground back here right now.
Damn, man.
Wind turbines just completely destroyed.
Dang, man. We were just miles from this rain wrap monster. We then paralleled the Greenfield supercell, which would go on to produce an EF2 tornado.
Oh, the streets are flooded.
We would end up in the rear flank of the Greenfield supercell, but for safety concerns, we turned around. The westerly winds at our back were shifting to southerlies right ahead of us. After seeing images of the damage, we didn't want to play with this tornado. The images reminded me of El Reno early on in its life,
with its big twisting subvortices. Plus it was wrapped in very heavy precipitation, and we would have to have gotten dangerously close in order to see anything.
Elijah, more unfortunate news coming in from the Greenfield area of just how powerful and how intense this tornado was. We knew yesterday that we could have big tornadoes, right? And we now know, we have verification that the environment that is in place out here is capable of producing very, very large tornadoes. In the, some days we go into this and like, hey, the environment, the ingredients.
Unfortunately, 4 people were killed when the tornado moved through Greenfield, Iowa. Dozens of people were also injured. A 5th person passed away after her car was swept off the road as well. I send all my positive energy to the people of Greenfield in Iowa. As of June 22nd, 2024, the Greenfield, Iowa EF4 is now the highest recorded winds on Earth from the Dow Doppler on wheels, with a minimum possible max wind speed at 309 miles per hour and a most likely max wind speed at 313 miles per hour. This tops the Bridge Creek and El Reno tornadoes of 1999 and 2013. I quickly made my way east on I-80 to get out ahead of storms coming out of the south. And I came across this little severe warning storm with very powerful winds. I decided to stay put and check out these high winds before I headed home. These winds gusting upwards of 70 miles per hour were an ominous sign of what was to come for eastern Iowa. This cell, along with others, would go on to produce widespread damage across east central Iowa, including causing widespread power outages and toppling over semis. I continued my way east. Apparently people go for jogs during PDS tornado watches in Iowa.
Hey, you alright? You alright?
I stopped to ask the guy if he was okay and continued on. I got back on I-80 East and decided to make the long trip back to Ohio. But not before running into traffic.
Christ. Traffic jam.
I then sat in standstill traffic for 2 hours as multiple semis were blown off the road. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured or killed. Nearing sunset, I was finally able to continue my way east and towards home. I had a long 400 miles ahead of me, but I decided to go ahead and tough it out and make the entire trip in one night. These long trips can be brutal though. I drove towards the sunrise, arriving home by daylight. And boy, when I got home, I was tired, bro. Just 3 days later, on May 25th, I was off to Vandalia, Illinois, with another 6 hours and 400 miles ahead of me. Another trough would bring a significant severe weather risk once again to the Midwest. This will be my 3rd PDS tornado watch I've chased this year. Bagging a tornado isn't easy as you may think. It takes dedication and a lot of money. And there's hazards, heavy precipitation, roadblocks, and bad decisions.
What's up, y'all? Frank here. I'm in Vandalia, Illinois. I think that's how you say it. getting ready to chase an enhanced risk tomorrow. We'll see if they upgrade it to a moderate. I don't know about that. It might be a small area. I might shoot a couple hours south and play along the Ohio River Valley, where the Mississippi and Ohio River meet. So see what we can get into tomorrow.
In the early morning hours of Sunday, May 26, multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms developed as the surface low moved through Missouri, with an upper level low off to the northwest. There were also tornadoes in this Boeing line of storms, which did significant damage across southeast Missouri. There was also widespread wind damage as well. That morning I continued my way south towards Missouri, unaware of what had happened earlier in the morning. There was some question of how the environment would recover after this morning round of showers and storms.
Crossing the Ohio River.
But skies quickly cleared, with dew points in the 70s funneling north. Strong to violent tornadoes were on the menu once again. As I made my way to my target location, I came across some serious tornado damage in Sikeston, Missouri, as an EF3 had crossed through the area around 8:30 that morning. A second long-track EF2 went just north of Sikeston that morning as well. I was driving through the footprints of giants, with damage scattered about fields. There was also widespread flooding across southeast Missouri that morning as well. Precipitable water values were upwards of 2 inches, leading to widespread flooding as multiple rounds of heavy rain moved over the same areas, with multiple flood warnings being issued and remaining in place.
No.
Has gone up rapidly.
The terrain here made the water look more shallow than it actually was. Don't do this. This was stupid. A nice local couple came to check on me, and luckily I was able to get my car started once again.
Alright. Yeah. Thank you for checking on me.
I found an open field north of Van Duzer with a view for miles of the western horizon. A particularly dangerous situation tornado watch was now in effect till 11 p.m.
Updraft's going up. But right now we got a broken line of supercells coming this way.
Jason Garrison then joined me and we watched updrafts explode all around us. Parts of Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana would see tornadoes this evening. Multiple tornado-warned supercells were approaching our location, but they are taking their sweet time getting here, traveling at a mere 35 miles per hour. Storm speeds were slower than I had anticipated. Looking back, I should have just chilled in my hotel room back in Vandalia. Then I could have stair-stepped all these storms all the way into Missouri. Like they say though, hindsight is 20/20, and I'm a stickler for structure. We got to witness some absolutely amazing Mamadas clouds. Tornado-producing supercells were approaching from the west, with more far off to our northeast. We were quickly losing sunlight, and unfortunately I had positioned too far east in favor of the better terrain. The supercells were quickly congealing and becoming outflow dominant as they were taken over by the boundary. We decided to quickly head south towards the tail end storm, as it's the most likely to produce. And it would. There was still debris in the road from storms earlier in the day, and more floodwaters. It being stupid worked out okay the last time. Let's be stupid again. Yeah, this trip was one big learning lesson for sure. I look forward to hearing from all you self-righteous perfect folks in the comments.
Shouldn't have done that.
I was now a sitting duck, literally, with supercells approaching and floodwaters up to my bumper.
I'm gonna have to call AAA.
Jason was willing to push me out of the floodwaters with his own car. I can't thank Jason enough for taking this risk. I'm very appreciative of his friendship and for his help. And man, that Mercury Grand Marquis is a tank.
600 feet, turn left onto County Road 445.
Thankfully, I was now back on dry land, but unfortunately, my starter was toast.
It does it once I started it.
After assuring Jason I would be okay, he continued on. He had a long drive home himself, plus I didn't want him to miss this opportunity because of my stupidity.
Thank you for calling AAA. This is Soraya. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I need a tow. I'm stuck. My starter's bad, and I'm about to go through a severe thunderstorm right now, and I'm on a somewhat flooded roadway.
I was soon overtaken by a black mass, what they call the whale's mouth. Luckily, winds weren't too strong at this point, as I was sitting next to some rather large trees. Heavy rain didn't last long, luckily, as the boundary quickly passed over me. I then got to witness some of the most epic lightning of my life. Cloud-to-cloud lightning danced across the sky, as the still floodwaters acted like a giant mirror. And I'm waiting on the tow truck driver, and there's tornado and wind damage all over the place. But I'm enjoying this light. Don't drive through flooded roadways. You might stall your car and get stuck 500 miles away from home. Like moi. Cloud-to-cloud lightning lit up hidden Mamadas clouds. Hey, is this ball lightning? Nah, that was probably just a lens flare. It looked like the lightning was even trying to take out my tow truck driver. Big shout out to Josh from Sire's Garage in Cape Girardeau for coming out in the dangerous weather. He had just rescued a woman and her grandson off the side of the freeway as well. I ended up staying at a place that looked like Wendy's spot in Breaking Bad until Tuesday. But I was thankful, as many didn't have a place to stay after the severe weather this spring. By Tuesday afternoon, Sire's Garage had my car back on the road.
Finally on my way back home, crossing the Mississippi once again.
Thankfully, with some help from family, friends, and complete strangers, I was able to make my way back home. It may sound odd, but I find peace being out there on the road, hunting monsters and the beautiful wonders of Mother Nature. A natural sensory overload where I can just shut off and take it all in. I may have not documented a tornado on these trips, but it was an amazing experience, and it was a great learning lesson as well.
Good job, Frank.
However, I caught these power flashes during a local chase in early May.
That's a power flash.
Which according to this guy were caused by a
Rain wrapped like a mother the big wedge.
but at this point it hasn't been confirmed by the National Weather Service what caused this damage. Our climate is changing, and with it, weather is becoming more extreme. So make sure you have a plan for when severe weather comes to your neighborhood.